awkwardly be talking about when we go live?
The...
And we're live.
Like now?
On that note, welcome to the Spin Down Podcast with me, Tiny.
I'm Matt.
And I think Andre's up here. If he's not,
That's
he's over
right.
there.
No, I'm over your shoulder. I'm actually over your head, Tiny.
Okay, sweet.
Brought to you by Save Point.
Yeah.
Thanks, Andre.
This is what happens when we're 20 minutes late. Okay, so on to the upcoming events with our sponsor, Save Point.
We're going to have a PPTQ this Sunday. I think it's $30 entrance, and registration starts at 11. The event will start at noon.
It's standard. You should come out. I'll be there probably.
I'll be there.
Yeah, you'll be working. Sucker.
I won't.
You won't be there?
No.
Jesus. Beyond that, we have the Modern for a Mox on July 16th coming up. We'll be pulling that up. Is it up?
Yeah.
Because it's not up on our screen.
Well,
So how do we know it's up?
we should get better.
So it is also $30 or is it $35?
It'll also be $30. First place wins a Mox Pearl. Additional pricing will happen after 20 players register.
Yeah, so come on out. That way we can get more pricing and win a Mox Pearl. Beyond that, I know this is an official store thing, but Matt and I and Andrew are starting a starter deck league.
It involves everybody taking one of the intro learn how to play decks, and from that point forward, we really haven't hashed out a whole lot.
That sounds awesome.
So the idea is you get your starter deck and you play the league with just the standard starter deck for the first week. And we record that and keep track of the league style for... We're probably going to do it for a quarter. We'll do it after every pre-release because they update the intro decks at each of those. And every week you get a budget of $5 to add 1 or 2 cards to your deck. And we're going with the Legacy ban list.
Mm-hmm. And
we'll see how that goes. We'll see if it's fun. It'll be interesting. I know you and I have some sweet ideas for our decks.
Definitely.
So yeah, if you want to in on that, just come into Save Point anytime we're here and talk to us.
I want in on that.
Sitting over here also, since we didn't introduce him awkwardly in the corner. Is he on the screen?
He is on the screen.
Okay, it's Micah Dilts. I didn't realize he was on the screen, or else I would have introduced him.
Hello.
Micah Dilts, also known as the boy who biked, by the way, guys.
The boy who biked.
Let's move the mic so we can hear him. We'll be interviewing him after the news.
Moving on with news, we have GP Vegas.
Happened over the weekend.
Yep. And there we had Legacy and we also had Modern. So
yeah, Legacy. Can we have the top 8 up on our screen? Because this one's
This
actually
is Legacy?
Yes. This one we actually need to see what we're talking about. I'm pretty sure
Death
Death and Taxes won.
Death and Taxes won.
Death and Taxes won. Even crazier than that is the fact that Canadian Threshold or Rug Delver actually top 8'd.
Was there?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, this is a pretty standard Death and Taxes list. Can we go down to the Canadian Threshold list?
Yeah, there's 4 cards of Threshold.
Yeah.
I'm surprised there's even that many.
Well, that's from... So, did you know that before Tarmogoyf was part of this deck, they actually played Werebear? Which is insane.
He maintains the right to bear arms.
I love seeing this deck back. I think it's like a return to form for Legacy because this deck was definitely prevalent in the past and it just disappeared. And seeing it coming back means that, to me at least, that Legacy is getting healthier.
Yeah.
It's moving in a better direction.
I remember playing a starter deck against this.
Yeah, because Ethan built it. Yeah, Ethan built it and I played it. I know you and I wanted to test it versus Grixis Delver because we were having a little argument over which one was better. So maybe we'll stream their testing with that. Beyond that, we have our standard includes in... What is the 4-color control list? Is it just the standard Leovold list?
It's probably just the pile. I mean, there's
Yeah.
a set of Baleful Strix, but...
You have Kolaghan's Command and 1 Lightning Bolt. I don't know. I feel
mean,
like
it's like
I'd rather
Fatal Push
just
is
run
good.
3 Fatal Push instead of 1 Lightning Bolt, 2 Fatal Push.
I mean, I can see why they made the split, but
Yeah. I always find splits like that weird.
My favorite thing about Legacy is that you add like $1,000 worth of dual lands in your deck just to play 1 Lightning Bolt. And if you're lucky, you have space for maybe like a pyro, like a
sideboard Pyroblast.
a pyroblast,
Yeah.
or a red elemental blast, depending on preference.
Or one of each,
Yeah.
apparently.
What's Diabolic Edict? What deck in Legacy do you Diabolic Edict?
Once I've
Anything with
played
True Name
Name.
Nemesis and
Okay.
Leovolds.
Actually,
Oh,
no,
yeah.
no, it targets a player.
That's
Ooh.
true. Yeah, you're right. But anything that plays True Name is definitely nice to edict away.
I
Okay.
suppose it hits Nimble Mongoose if you're in
Yeah.
this top 8.
Moving on. Everything else looks about the same, so we'll move on to the modern top 8. And we'll wait here awkwardly while he figures that out.
I got it. I got it.
Yeah, when are we gonna do our cover album? Alright. Affinity as far as the eye can see.
Huh.
Man, it's like it's a good deck.
Oh, so you want to take a guess at what Walks is?
Walks? Would
It's
that
probably
be
a really
turbo
slow
turns?
deck. It's
Yeah, it's Turbo.
I think it's a totally slow deck. It's walking to the finish line.
Get it. Yeah, I thought it was like a Walker's deck or something, but no, it's just Turbo Turns.
It's blue-black turns.
Yeah, so I cheated because I knew that one beforehand.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. I feel like Walks is the official name for it, but everybody just calls it turbo turns.
Yeah.
I mean, I've always called it taken turns, so we're all special.
Big thing about this top 8 is the fact that there's no Death Shadow.
And there are 2 hate bear lists.
Yeah, let's look at Craig Wesco's hate bear list because he plays some mono white cards.
I mean, though
Wrong one. Damn.
Toe actually said on stream that the big reason why he played hate bears was because he watched Craig Wesco, like on his top 8 snippet. He said, "Why are you playing this deck?" Because Craig Wesco
Okay.
was
That makes sense.
his little line.
I do like Brimaz.
Yeah.
And then Craig Wesco's was because I'm Craig Wesco.
I do like Lean and Arbiter and Ghost Quarter.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like it's good. There's a Path to Exile to work with it too. Why are there only 2 Thalias?
They've been cutting Thalias a lot. I don't know.
I mean, I suppose it's bad against Eldrazi Tron, but I feel like you'd really want that versus Grixis.
So, I know the modern event you went to, everyone was gunning for the Coco combo deck, the new
Yeah.
So that might be a holdover in that like they're more thinking there's going to be creature based matchups more than
does the looks at the almost hate bear mirror?
yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's probably
I do
it.
suppose Thalia would be really bad in this top 8.
Yeah.
Like the deck you wanted against, 2 decks you want against are like Burn and Walks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what a deck can't beat a Mirran Crusader? Death Shadow. So
And then there's 4 in each, right?
Yeah.
4 in each hate bear list.
yeah. All right. So those were the top 8s that happened over the
Yeah,
weekend.
that's green white hate bears. Tomari's was mono white, which I feel like pointing out.
Sure. Let's click on that one since our resident modern expert. Ooh, Resto Angel. This one plays 4 Thalias.
This feels more like a...
Raven Inspector, modern playable card.
I mean, it has seen play.
Yeah.
It's in the. Is it in the Humans Company list?
I
feel
think
like
it might be.
I can't remember.
What's Dusk to Dawn?
There's only one Crusader in this one.
It's the Wrath.
Yeah.
And then with Power Fear Monster.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
One-sided
seems
Wrath,
pretty good.
one-sided Take Everything Back. There's one Crusader main, 2-side. Wesco's just got 4.
Yeah.
He's just going for it.
All right. So those were the top 8s that happened. I know Sealed happened, but we're not big on like I don't know Sealed decks.
Limited.
It's not
Yes,
full
this was
limited.
limited.
Yeah.
Woo. So that was the news. I know that last week a bunch of news happened, but that was last week, and unfortunately
All the announcements.
unfortunately we didn't have an episode that week. So I think like people have heard about all that stuff by now, so I don't think we need to rehash all that, especially with how full today's episode is.
Yeah. However, if you want to message in and let us know what you think the vanilla mythic and the unset's going to be, I'm interested to hear what your ideas are.
Yeah. All right, so moving on, we have our interview with Micah Dilts. I think what we want to do is, whenever we do interviews, we want to start off by playing a round of art game, which, if, Matt, could you explain what that is while Andre's pulling up the webpage?
Alright, so the art game is one of the tabs on the website magiccards.info, and Tiny and I have taken it a step further, where you take turns guessing 5 to 10 cards, and you get a point for each one you guess correctly. And at the end of the round, whoever guessed the most correctly gets a point for the difference.
Yep.
And then we set like a set amount of rounds, and whoever has the most point at the end of the rounds is the winner.
Yeah. And since we're actually doing this on stream, I think we'll have time limits for each. That way it doesn't drag on forever.
I pretty much just know it or I don't. I'm not going to sit there and think about it.
Alright, so how do we want to have a guest start us off, or should one of us start us off?
I think we should start with Micah.
And we're doing impossible mode, Andre?
Impossible. Yeah, impossible is the easiest. So...
Alright.
Swamp.
You don't have to
can
put the name in. Just click check a next card and we'll know.
Incorrect.
I think the answer is secret.
Oh, okay. So the one rule is because sometimes this happens a lot on the page.
A lot.
You either get to choose if you refresh or skip. It's your choice.
I'll skip. It doesn't make
All
a
right. So
difference.
just click K.
Skip. I don't know this one. I don't know.
So you're
That's
0
2.
and 2.
Dwinin. What's the full card name?
Dwinin,
It's the legendary elf.
title.
It's a 3/4, and it attacks, and you gain 1 life for each attacking elf. And it's a legendary elf.
Do we want to give it to him?
He said
It's
Dwinin,
Dwinin.
and he said
Dwinin something.
Sure, we'll
I think
give it
it's
to him.
Dryad Elite.
Yeah, I played this in standard. It was
Because
great.
I know there's Dwinin's elite, but then there's
Yeah.
Dwinin something.
All right,
Just put in Dwinin.
All right,
click
so
the next.
He's 1 and 2. Check a next card.
Guiltleaf
Guilt
Dane.
Mm.
Alright, that's Elvish Champion.
So he's,
2 and 2, with elf travel.
are we doing 5?
Yeah.
Okay, we're doing 5. So next. Next.
This one?
Yeah, click it. There you go.
Bloodthorn Vampire.
So he's
3
3
and
of
2.
5.
Yep, 3 of 5.
3 of 5. All right. So then what happens is, once you click next to see your last one, we always just skip this first one.
Okay.
Yeah, just so you don't have a ton of time to sit there and look at it. So Matt bye.
Oh, what? I know.
I'm pretty sure we've gotten this.
I've played this one. I've played this card.
All right, Michael. What is it?
It's Power Sync.
It's Power Sync. Next.
I know I'm right.
So good at this game.
I know this one
This
too.
is
I
know this one.
What's it do?
This is either the one where you can see a face down card, or it's
Um.
skip it.
It's Keeper of the Lens.
0 and 2. See, he's keeping the lens.
I know this
I
one too.
was right,
I know
though.
what this one is too.
All right, Micah.
Right. It's the Meekstone on legs. For 3 and a white.
Mega said the
3/3.
Meek Stone.
No. It's
Alright.
like Ivory Golem.
0 and 3.
The Marble Titan.
Rebecca Gway. Skip.
I know that.
No,
It's Venom.
0 and 4.
Cancel.
I'm
Alright.
4 and 1.
Let's try.
1-4.
Alright, so I have to be, what, 3-2?
Yep.
Alright.
I got like 4 and 1 on that.
Alright, next card. Oh, man.
Alright.
The round table.
No clue.
Dang it.
I don't know.
Wow.
I know.
think I know this one.
Jace's Ingenuity?
Next.
I guess.
It's
Oh,
4
okay.
over the pages.
Yeah, it's
okay.
four
Well,
pages.
yeah.
The one that everyone freaked out because they capitalized the O.
Is it not supposed to?
Because mind over matter doesn't have a capitalized
Yeah.
over, but it doesn't pour over the pages. I know this one.
Is this
I
Wolf
played it in pre-release.
Is this Wolfier Avenger?
Nope.
Alright.
Nope, it's getting stabbed. It's
Yeah.
Sunstrike. Yeah.
You're 0-3.
Yeah.
Oh man, what's this one?
I'm terrible at this game.
I've-
See, we had it for a while.
Oh man,
I don't know.
I
Skip
know
this one.
What is? It's Stewards of Vestar. No.
Oh.
Oh, I know this one!
I know
It's a
this one.
cube card.
I know what it is.
Oh man.
I can't even see half the art because of the camera.
I've played it a billion times in cube.
It's Primeval Titan.
It's not Terastodon. It's,
It starts with a W.
Woodfall Primus.
There we go.
Alright, so I'm at least 1 and 4. You want in on this, Andre?
No.
No.
Okay.
What on earth is
So
that?
our guest crushed us.
Hi.
Oh, and the last rule is if anybody goes 10-0 and the other person goes 0-10, the 10-0 gets a free steak. All right.
Which is kind of impossible to hit when we do 5 cards.
Well, that's not my problem.
If we 5-0, we can just keep going to try and hit them. Alright.
Go until they mess up.
I didn't make the rules. I follow them. All right.
Alright, so now into our interview. So, Micah. Obviously we're interviewing you because you did, what was it, like 450 miles?
I did 400 and almost 480 mile bike ride.
Alright, 480 mile bike ride to Charlotte, North Carolina to play in a Star City Open, which is insane. For year 15, right?
I'm just barely 16.
Okay. So to start off, why Charlotte? Why not any other event? Or
Well,
anything
I was gonna go to Baltimore, but then I couldn't get off school because the school's field trip thing says I have to be accompanied by an adult to get out of school. And
Makes sense.
my parents were like, nope.
So mom and dad weren't gonna bike with you?
No,
Baltimore?
and so I wasn't able to go to that. Like, and if I had, I might have gotten like picked up by a cop or something for skipping school.
Yeah.
Although I could have gotten picked up in North Carolina because in Virginia, when I was biking through those, school was still going on. It was going on until the 8th,
Okay.
and I was biking down there, and these kids go like this, bus picking up kids and dropping off kids, and I'm just like, yeah, I'm definitely not skipping school here.
So why did you bike there? Why not like ride there or get your parents to drive you there?
Because my parents wouldn't drive me there, and no one else was going really.
Okay.
I mean, it's 450 miles. If you're driving there, it takes all day.
Yeah.
So the first thing that came to my mind, like, and I'm sure other people were thinking it, but where did you sleep? Because this obviously took a couple days.
All right, so obviously, a good person would, I don't know, check into a hotel, but I can't. So, yeah, I'll talk about that a little bit later. And so, okay, what else are you going to do? Well, check into a campground. You actually have the same legal issues in that. Okay, so what else are you going to do? I slept behind churches.
Nice.
I just be biking along and be like, it's 8 o'clock. Hey, look, there's a church. Park behind, drop my stuff behind it, throw up a tent. I'm more or less out of sight of traffic, and it went just fine. Didn't get talked. No one said anything to me until the last night. Two guys. I was in a very visible part of the church just because it was like in a circle
Okay.
of roads, so it was a little hard to be out of sight. And 2 guys came over and said, "Hey, can you come out?" And I'm just like, "Oh boy, please don't let this be the police." So I unzip my tent and they get out, and there's these 2 like fat guys, like really big guys, and they're just like, "Hey, so what are you doing here?" And I'm just like, "Oh, I'm camping. I figured I needed a place to stop, and I figured I wasn't gonna get kicked out of a church. And it was like, okay, and then left. So, yeah, I made it there eventually.
Nice. Leading up to this, what events / like preparation did you do to get ready for it?
For the bike ride, I don't know. I went biking for a bit, maybe like 2 weeks beforehand, but I did a 30 miles up, 32 miles up, 32 miles back, up to Liverpool from my house.
Okay.
So, like, that was my only big bike ride, and I biked there in the rain. I left, and then it started raining, but I didn't feel like going home, so I just kept biking, and it was raining, and it sucked.
That's probably good because there wasn't a guarantee you weren't gonna get rained on, you know, on the way to Charlotte.
I did get rained on, but on my way to Charlotte. Man, was it Monday or Tuesday? I think it was Monday. I was biking, and then it started raining. It wasn't raining hard, so I could keep biking, but the part of road I was going along was busy, and once the road gets wet, there's like a backsplash from cars, and then you can't see.
Yeah. How about for the Magic side of things, the actual tournament? What preparation did you have going into the tournament?
Well, I got the cards.
That's a good thing.
Step one.
I bought a playset of Cryptic Command,
Nice.
which is obnoxious. And I don't know. I played at one FNM with the deck, and that was that preparation. And then I was playing on Untap.in. It's like Cockatrice but browser based, free MTG platform, and I played on there for a while. It helped, but the big thing was that I tested the Blue-Red Storm matchup. That was a pain.
Oh yeah.
I hate that matchup.
But yeah, you had never been to any like large events.
I've never been in a competitive level event before.
Yeah, you just went from like F&M to
To
top
32 and Open.
Nice.
So talking about hating matchups, what would you say that day was your best matchup?
My best matchup. Oh heck! I wish I had access to my tournament report because then I could actually think about what I played against. Bantel Drazi was probably my easiest match. It was last round of day one. I'm 6'2". He was just like, hey, we checked what my record was to see if he got paired down, and so we're both 6'2", and I crushed him 2-0 with like 30 minutes left on the clock.
Nice.
And it's not a good matchup for him.
Yeah, because none of his cards actually interact with your cards.
Thought Not Seer.
Yeah,
if he goes turn 2 Thought Not Seer, turn 3 Thought Not Seer, I lose.
Yeah.
Other than that, I'm good.
Turns out you can't beat the God draw.
And on the other end of things, what would you say was your worst matchup?
Blue-Red Storm.
Blue-Red Storm.
Did you face that?
I faced it twice, and I beat it once, lost the other time.
Nice.
And okay, so the first time I played it, I lost 1-2, and the guy had he had a very, very good combo draw 3 games in a row, and so he turn 2'd me, he turn 3'd me, turn 3'd me on the play when I had no interaction in my hand. I had the solid turn 4 kill, so I'm just like, because I'm playing Bring the Light Scape Shift, which we forgot to mention.
Oh yeah.
I had the turn 4 kill, and so I was like, whatever, this is a solid hand. I'm on the draw, but whatever. And then I die.
Nice.
So
yeah, that's famous last words of the Storm.
It's just the famous last words. I got this next turn. There's no way they can beat us.
Yeah. But then, so the second match I played against Storm, though, that I actually won 2-1. I won game 1 because he mulled the 6, and then he didn't really have a good combo hand, and I just managed to get there. He got stuck on 1 land even, and game 2 though, he's on the play, so he goes turn 1 land, turn 1 land, probably Serum Images, I can't remember. I go, okay, turn 1 land, spend search from tomorrow, go. He goes, land, Mana Dork, is it the Goblin Electromancer. And he passes back to me, I play a land, rest in peace. He's like, well, guess I'm gonna have a hard time comboing off. Afterwards, he told me he had decided out his permanent answers.
Nice.
So he actually could not combo off.
Yeah.
And pass back to him. He draws a card, plays a land, Blood Moon.
Yeah.
So
If
now
you can't
we're
win, you
both,
can't win.
and I was not expecting the Blood Moon pan because normally there's one or two. I talked to him afterwards. He had a play set in his sideboard.
Nice.
So I just kind of got stomped, and okay, I'm just like whatever. I don't have a green source, so I just need to get a green source, and I'm okay. And I'm not really under a clock, so. Eventually, I'm just like, draw a card. All right, Anger of the Gods, kill his 2 dorks that were clocking me.
Yeah.
He untaps, plays another one, plays another one, plays another one, and I died to Goblin Electromancer Beats.
Nice.
And then I killed him in game 3. But
That is how you win matches of Magic. Pro tip.
2 out of the 3 games.
Yeah. Yeah. So things that I know we talked last week about. John Goss gave me the idea of the questions you ask yourself after every tournament. So the 3 questions that we ask ourselves after every tournament. First of all, what was your best moment of the whole tournament?
I did this. Only did this the one time, but I've done it lots of other times. So my opponent. This is a Bantel Drowsy matchup. This is game 2. He attacks me with. Reality Smasher and Thought-Knot Seer.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm at like 13 life. It wouldn't have even killed me. So, he tapped out for the Smasher, beaten.
Yeah.
And I go, alright, I've got, my hand consists of a couple cards, but there's, the big 2 are Obstinate Bailoff and Path to Exile.
Okay.
Path to Exile, target Reality Smasher, discard Obstinate Bailoff,
Nice.
block the Thought-Knot Seer, draw a card.
That's yeah.
That's my golden play of the Eldrazi matchup.
Nice.
That's not a bad one.
I would definitely remember that play if I made it.
That's definitely my favorite.
All right, so to go with polar opposites, what was your worst moment of the tournament?
Getting turn 3 on the draw against Blue Red Storm.
I don't think he likes
Also-
Blue Red Storm.
Also, round 15, my game 3 hand that I kept. I can't remember if I was on the play on the draw. Once again, I'd want to see I gave a tournament report on MTG Salvation. If you go into the Rug Scapeshift, Rug Scapeshift forums, but I kept a 6 of 5 lands, Rest in Peace, and I almost won.
Nice.
And but I played Rest in Peace and it did nothing.
Yeah.
He did not have any creatures with Delve. He did not have any Snapcaster Mages. He had nothing that dealt with the graveyard the entire game.
Seems good.
Don't do that.
Yeah, so what did you learn from the weekend?
Nothing, because he's back.
Well, it wasn't as playing at a competitive level for that many matches wasn't as mentally exhausting as I thought it was going to be.
Oh yeah.
I came in expecting it to me to actually be by the end of the day, but I was just fine.
Sweet.
Also, apples. I had 2 apples in my bag. And those are great.
Yeah, my go-to snack for Grand Prix and stuff is hummus and pita bread because it's pretty high in protein and delicious.
Kit Kats and Coca-Cola.
Pure sugar.
Crash about round 3. Alright, so, I think it was our last episode that we talked about tilting.
Yep.
Wait, can I talk just for a little bit about my round 15, though?
Sure.
So
that was the that was the last round, right?
my last round was I played against the guy who got 12th place. He was playing Grixis Shadow with the old version that ran Delver of Secrets and no the Swamp Walk Cycler for 2 life. guy.
Wait, he's playing Death Shadow?
He's
not
playing Death Shadow, and he was playing none of those street
Street
raids. He was playing
Wow,
0 street
that's
raids.
aggressive.
Which is like one thing anybody actually noted about the deck. It was that it didn't play street raids. So he's playing a playset of Delver, and so he won game 2 after I won game 1. Game 2, he said he kept a hand of 5 lands terminate, and he just didn't even think about it. He just kept it. He was like, wait a second, after he kept it. He thought he had signed it out terminate, but he still won that game anyways because he drew because he had 5 fetch lands and terminate, and he drew 3 shadows.
That's how
and
you
just
win
walked
Magic.
over me. So, and then I'm going into game 3, and as I said, I lost. Like I almost won game 3, even though I lost, and I kept Rest in Peace was my only non-land card. But I kind of won the game, but I still lost it. So what happened was I'm on 6 lands and I cast Escape Shift. I top decked Escape Shift. I had 3 lands in hand and 5 lands in play, so I play a land, shock it down to 9 life, and cast Escape Shift because I'm facing 2 10/10 shadows, and I'm at 13, and I was at previously 11 life. So I'm really dead.
Yeah.
And I play it, and my opponent says, yeah, that's game. Starts scooping up his cards and shakes my hand.
Okay.
And then says, wait, how many lands did you have in play? Can I see Valakut? But he already conceded.
Yeah.
You call the judge over.
Yeah.
The judge says, all right, because of tournament procedure, I have to go get the head judge. Head judge comes over and says, you conceded.
Yeah.
So I win, but I conceded the match.
Okay.
Because, I didn't really...
So
I didn't win that game.
Did you
I
make-
won that game,
so-
my deck didn't.
So was that a mistake, or was that you trying
That
to...
was me, I conceded the match.
Well, not the
after-
concession, but the Valakut on 6 lands. Was
That
that
was
just a
on
mistake?
purpose because I was facing lethal. It was like...
Oh, you...
I was going to see if he just conceded. And then he did. But then he caught it. He caught it almost immediately. Within about 2 seconds.
Okay.
And I didn't feel right taking that win.
Yeah. I can see both sides of the coin on that one.
And the difference was, I knew I couldn't get top 8. I looked at the standings, and I looked at it, I knew I could not get top 8.
Yeah.
And my opponent knew the same thing because we both had the same record.
Sure.
And so I conceded the match, and he got 12th place, and I got 26th.
Okay.
And if I had taken that win, I would have gotten 12th place, and he would have gotten 32nd.
Okay.
But afterwards, my opponent said, that he really appreciated that I'd conceded to him, and that he'd done some similar things to what I had done before.
Okay.
And and he asked me for my phone number and address because because when we ended up in different prize brackets, he said he wanted to be able to split the difference.
Okay.
And he really didn't need to do that.
Yeah. I don't know, that's nice one.
It was him being nice because he knew and recognized that I could have taken the win there.
Yeah, exactly.
But, my deck went 10-4-1, which was my end record.
Yeah.
And you could say I went 11-3-1 because, I kind of won the last match, but I wouldn't say my deck won the last match.
Yeah. Yeah, I get that. Yeah, so Matt, you had one last question that you wanted to ask?
So last episode, I think it was, we had talked about tilting and how he told one of his tilt stories. You have any good tilt stories for us?
Back when I'm going to talk about 2 of them. So, one of them is me being salty, and one of them was my brother being salty.
We get an Ethan Dilts a salty story?
Yeah. So when I first started playing Magic, Ethan was like, "Oh, let's go play. You should play EDH." And I'm at this point. I'm 12, and I was playing Omnath, Locus of Mana, and because I was like, this card's cool. And so I'm playing all like the mana ramp and mana doubling and all this weird stuff to make him big, and I was always getting targeted, and I always got sad at the end. I remember one time while I was playing a tap and attack for like the 3rd time ever, I started crying. And I was just like, I feel like an idiot for crying, but I'm grumpy right now.
It doesn't help that at this moment. I'm pretty sure this was when Ethan was playing the Saint Augustine the Fourth.
But I don't even think Ethan was in that. I'm not sure Ethan was in that game. It was just a standard 4-player pod, and I was the first person to die, and I wasn't happy about it. So, like, that's just everyone wants to be able to do their thing at some point, especially when you're playing a casual format like EDH, because it feels really bad when it turns into a it turns into a 3v1 format like Arc Enemy, because there's a person playing a deck that people don't particularly like.
Yeah.
So and.
So now you want to play Andre.
Sorry, viewers. Andres just keeps clicking through the art game. I guess Andre's getting bored, even though this is a great interview, I think.
That's Shiv on Dragon.
And so the last Salt story. This was Popper, and I'm playing against my brother Ethan. This is at Tap and Attack. I'm against my brother Ethan, who introduced me to Magic, and I'm playing. At this point, I think I was playing mono black, like shadow creatures with auras that made them bigger. So literally, 1 black and I give it +2/+1. It's awesome, right?
Yeah.
So I'm playing stuff like that, and I'm playing against Green White Hexproof, and he's like, this would be a pretty good. He said this would be a pretty poor matchup for me, and then I crushed it. And then Ethan's like, gets up, walks out, and comes back with Subway after he missed the next round.
I think I remember that even.
Ethan walked out, and I walked over to you and I was like, dude, Ethan just walked out.
Yeah, because you were asking, because he was your ride, and you're like, did he leave without me?
I mean, hey, I was 12. It's not like I was walking home across a bunch of busy roads.
Hey, Andre,
Said the guy who biked 480 miles.
Can you look up the Salt Road Patrol for us, please?
Yes.
Hey, I still have all of Ethan's copies of that card.
See, it's funny because they live on Salt Road. I guess we shouldn't say that on stream, but
Whatever. Whatever.
They live on Redacted. That's a pretty good likeness, if I do say so.
So I guess you had the question I thought you were going to ask is the last one was, so what are you going to do to celebrate?
What?
How are you going to celebrate?
Celebrate.
Winning, or not winning, but top 32 in your first Star City after just playing FNM.
I mean, it's been like 2 weeks out. I'll probably go to FNM. I don't know. Whenever I get my prizes, whatever that is, my $200 minus fees and everything and taxes.
$12.
Nah, it's probably like $15.
Yeah.
But once I get that, I'll actually try and buy some of the cards that I don't own in the deck.
Makes sense.
And I'm also heading off to the Open in Roanoke that they're running alongside the Invitational with Ethan.
Alright, sounds good. That's the weekend, the first
July
weekend in
1st
July.
and 2nd.
Alright. One last one.
It's just like the fourth last question.
Just the very last one. It's just a yes or no. Could you beat Andre?
Yes. Hands down, yes.
I can't wait until we interview someone who says no.
Alright, that's all I got.
Thank you, Micah. Congrats and good luck.
Thank you.
If you want to hang out and laugh at us, you can.
Okay.
Alright. So, let me steal your show notes because mine are
In the Aether.
Yeah.
So now, I guess as a jump between this topic and our deck building topic, we're gonna do the as everyone heard last week, and if you didn't, you're probably living under a rock or just Nathaniel Hoffman. They're doing From the Vaults Transform cards. When is that coming out? Do you remember? Sometime this year. Probably in the fall. It's honestly, if I had to guess, it's probably like right before December or Christmas.
Probably.
But it's From the Vaults Transform cards. Were you gonna say something, Micah?
Yeah,
November.
November?
November 7th. I'll look it up here.
That happens to be right before December.
Yeah.
Last I checked.
24.
That was close. That was a week off.
But it's gonna be 15 double-faced cards. We did confirm it's gonna be all 15 are double-faced, and we figured that since it's such a small subset of Magic cards, we'd try and guess what 15 is gonna be. And since Andre wants to wimp out, we're not gonna do a pie to the face for whoever loses.
That's good.
We totally are.
It'll be one of those things where if you win, we do pie to the face, and if you lose, we don't do pie to the face.
Okay.
Or we can come up with... Alright, viewers, how about you guys come up with what the loser does of this bet?
I don't like that idea either.
Hoffman, I'm looking
I
at you.
actually
You
like
keep
that idea
PG.
works.
You keep that
See, I'm
PG.
surprised Andre hasn't said shave your head. Shave that.
Hey, when you guys actually do it?
I'd shave everything but my beard. I've been over this.
I did say shave your beard first. He was like, no. No.
I went bald in 6th grade. I shaved my head.
That's not going to leave my mind for a while.
But I guess we'll start with my list. Can you pull up my list? It's in the Google Docs, and we can just show my list, and then we'll just talk about the ones that you guys guessed that are different. Which for you is like 4 cards.
It's not enough.
And Andre has some crappy rares from the new set in his. Or not rares, commons or something.
Yeah.
I guess Moon Mist. That was disappointing when I found out they were supposed to be double-faced.
So the 2 resounding gotta be in the thing ones are definitely Delver and Jace Prince Prodigy. I think we can all agree if they don't include those, they've screwed up somehow.
Yeah.
Because what would they even add? Like, in my
I don't
opinion,
know.
like
Well-
this is literally from the vaults. I get a cool Jace Prince Prodigy in my
And a
opinion.
Delver.
Like, that was the thing. Like, when I was thinking of the list, I was like, well, Jace is by far the most expensive card on the list, no matter what double face cards you pick.
Yeah.
So it's like, will it increase the value too much to the point where they won't print it for that?
They don't
for that
care
reason?
about
But
the value.
they did do
Jace.
Umazao's Jete.
And they did
Yeah,
Jace.
they did do the Mind Sculpture. But just in the last one, they did Umazao's Jete and they did Dark Depths. So I was looking at
Yeah,
it.
they don't
That's
care about
joking.
value.
Yeah.
Like, they don't care about value either way. They'll print the bulkiest of bulk cards and the most expensive cards.
The Burning of Zinye was in one of those, and that was like over 100 or something like that
Yeah.
before that reprint.
So, Delver and Jace are definites. I think all 3 of us agree that Huntmaster, Huntmaster was played like from the beginning to the end of its standard rotation.
And it still sees modern play.
It's seen modern play. I know it was one of the cards people tried when the elf Bloodbraid Elf got banned.
It still sees some play.
Yeah. So I think that's auto include.
Did they say double-sided or transformed?
They said
double-sided.
Double-faced.
Damn it. No Arrayo.
Yeah, that was one of the things I.
So they said double face cards. So this is the thing that I thought about, and I didn't change my list because of it. But like, do the meld cards count?
I have meld cards.
Those are double faced.
Yeah, but that's why I was
And
like,
they
I
do-
picked
I don't know.
just cards that said transform.
They transform.
They do.
Well, they
So,
meld.
so random annoying thing on Moto, you can't see the backside of meld cards, so you can't you have to go Google what the meld card turns into if you care.
I mean, there are only 6 cards that have anything to do with meld, so.
So I want to know what that card's gonna destroy me by doing.
I mean, let's see. The one that actually really sees play,
It's the Popper Rats.
no, is Rosella. And chances are, if that thing flips, you're dead.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. If you play Commander, I've seen a lot of people make the hand
Well, yeah, it's because everyone plays 10 board wipes.
Alright, moving on. So now we get into kind of murky territory with what cards are going to be included. Obviously my list is kind of out of order. I think Garrick Relentless is on the 80% chance that it'll be there.
Yep.
It's the same reason Huntmaster was played.
It's
It was
so
actually another
motivating.
one of the cards that replaced Bloodbraid Elfin John sometimes.
It's seen a little bit of play in Legacy and
In like,
oh yeah, and the
Nick Fit.
yeah, Nick. See, Nick Fit's funny because you can just pick whatever
Like,
magic
whatever
cards you want.
Mid-rangey cards and throw it in, but
it goes well with the
It's
Knight of the Reliquary kind of decks.
Yeah. And then like things like Thing in the Ice saw standard play, still sees it, sees modern play.
Same as the Avison.
Avison, same thing. Just Watch Recruiter, same thing. Then we get into the Westvale Abbey, same thing. Then we get into the more like, for me, the casual cards. Like Elbrus, I think they'll include just because that's such a like.
it's a mythic.
It's a
And-
mythic that casual players loved.
I mean, yeah, like
How
you
is
throw
it
that
awesome?
EDH and then someone dies. Man, this thing can one-shot people.
Yeah. Bloodline Keeper, vampires. Everyone loves vampires.
And yeah,
Wait.
casual cards. Well loved casual.
Yeah. Both Mayor of Avonbrook and Ulrich, both lords of flip cards. So like, why wouldn't they include that in the in it?
I also Mayor also sees some play in modern in the
Yeah.
company humans.
Also see some vintage play occasionally.
That's
Chalice
just
of
crazy
Life.
people.
So does Hammer of Perforos.
Chalice of Life. Everyone loves life gain, right?
It's-
And five people, right?
Yeah.
I
Five
mean,
of you.
well, Chalice of Life, I feel like that's another sort of like a casual card, just because people, like, you know, newer players, you know, is very well said that new players overvalue life gain, and I'm just curious if that might be part of why.
I don't know, they put casual cards that aren't great in the From the Vaults, right? That were popular.
No. Well, granted, I was also a casual player when this card was printed, but I remember all my friends were trying to figure out decks that could like maximize the potential for.
When I first read Chalice of Life, I thought that card was so broken. I bought like 20 copies
Nice.
for 50 cents each. They want my wallet.
Yeah, so that's my 15. I know you exchanged like the Arlencourt and the Ulrich for Gisela and Bruno, right?
I think there's all in Bernard.
I thought Meld was too interesting. It says double faced.
Mhm.
It's unique.
Yeah.
It's the most playable of its kind.
Yeah.
I just don't see them printing that many cards that are in standard right now into it.
Okay.
Either. So I did cut like Duskwatch Recruiter, and so
Yeah, they also don't particularly like printing commons and uncommons in From the Vault, unless they're like Dark Ritual.
Yeah, but Duskwatch Recruiter's like a...
Yeah.
But it's also in standard.
yeah.
I don't know.
so that's
It's
weird.
kind
Like,
of
that's-
weird.
It's so weird
The
that
thing
it's
is,
like...
Dark Ritual is good enough that it could have been a rare.
Yeah,
Right.
but half the cards that make up transform cards are in standard now is the big thing.
Yep.
Yeah, which is why I think it was a really poor time to make From the Vault transform.
Yeah.
So the way I went about this, I don't know about you guys, but the way I went about this was I went through magiccards.info and I typed in transform.
Yeah.
And I just went through, and if I thought it was good enough to be in a From the Vaults, I added it to the list, and then I came up with this list here. And then what I did was I went through and I crossed off things that I thought, you know, like I just crossed down to 15.
Yeah.
It started with all 5 of the Origins Planeswalkers. Then I realized like that might be much, so I cut all 5 of them.
From the Vault Planeswalkers.
Yep. So I cut all of them. And then my list, as I was going through, I found out that it was double face cards, so I lost Moon Mist, which I thought was my
Spicy pick.
my ace. But when I found out it was double face, I had to go. So I added Jace back in because
It's Jace.
you need a card that creates a buzz. Because
Yeah.
if it's just from the Vault's Delver, you're like,
Yeah.
no.
I mean, it's foil Delver, but
Um,
I wonder though, is what's getting new arts.
Yeah, that'll be
it's
interesting.
gonna be Delver Secrets, and it's gonna be Garuk. That's why I started them. So obviously Delver's gonna be in there. My differences are instead of having Arlencourt, Ulrich, Daybreak Ranger and Duskwatch Recruiter, I added in Gisela and Bruna. And then I added in Lily. And I added in Ravenous Demon.
Okay.
I know Ravenous Demon's probably wrong since, it already has, it has an alternate art because it's a pre-release card. But it's just a sweet card.
Yeah.
I tried to make it work when I first started playing that.
I felt like they were going to try to, diversify it a little bit much because when you look through, most of the played ones are all werewolves or planeswalkers.
Yeah.
So they're going to try to make it not werewolves and
Werewolf and
planeswalkers.
planeswalkers.
So I try to change it, creature type up just a little bit.
Planeswalker.
Alright. So you and I have 4 card differences to see if we're right against each other. And then we have Andre.
So my list. I put all 7 of the flip planeswalkers. So Liliana, Jace, Chandra, Nissa, Kithion, and
Garuk.
Arlen, Cord, and Garuk.
Okay.
Duskwatch Recruiter, Avacyn, Thing in the Ice, and Westvale Alley, just like you said, Tiny, just based off of their impact on Standard, on the game in general for such a long time.
Yeah.
And then Huntmaster as well. And then Ulrich I added him because it was just there was a bunch of articles I read when they spoiled it that everybody's been looking for a werewolf commander.
Yes.
And they got it, so it's just so impactful for the casual formats that it's just
even though everyone hated it.
Yeah.
Everyone said they would have rather just had Huntmaster with Legendary on it.
It doesn't matter.
I loved waiting for this set to be spoiled with Ulrich in it, and everybody's like, I just want my legendary werewolf commander. I don't care if he's playable. My deck needs to be werewolves or bust. And they print Ulrich, and none of them have Ulrich as their commander. It's great.
Yeah, because you know who makes a better commander than that?
It
Andy Red Green.
Because the thing is, for Ulrich, if it's bad to the point where it's funny, it's playable because it's EDH. But if it's
mediocre,
it's just unexciting every time you play it, and it's not funny, and you're just like, why am I playing this?
Yeah, you can just play Tiny Ghost and double strike things.
I think in my last, and then obviously Delver Secrets is one that we share across, and then the flavorful, the flavorful aberrant researcher.
I can't wait until
you want to do a side bet.
I can't wait until I win because of that card.
Yeah.
What's the side bet on Aberrant Researcher actually being in?
Alright, pie to the face.
Yeah, alright. If that card is in here, you can second pie to the face both of us.
Yeah.
Okay. If that card is in the set, I pie both of you in the face.
Alright.
That's fair.
Can I just say what my list was going to be?
Sure.
Alright, so using the one on screen, Google Docs. If you drop Chalice of Life, Daybreak Ranger, Duskwatch Recruiter, Arlen Cord, and Ulrich, my list had the Origins Planeswalkers, Liliana and Nissa. It had Gisela and Bruna, and shoot, what was the last card? I knew there's one more. I had this listed out in my head earlier. There was one other card. Can't remember what it was anymore. I'm really good at this.
He's gonna beat us with only 14 cards on his list.
Like BSR games.
What was the last?
We gotta stage our game a little bit better.
Can't remember what the last one was.
That's alright. They didn't get to watch half of his round, so you're good.
Yeah,
Why?
I stumped you guys in the art game.
Because
I'll probably stump you in this too.
I don't know what Andre's talking about.
Carry on.
He's something.
Alright, so now that we have that out, keep your list so that way I know if I beat you.
Why do we have him?
Alright, Mike is on the show from now on.
Actually, no, Tiny might be my bad.
Alright, so on to our reoccurring thing, deck building. Not deck building. It's how to become a more competitive player.
Right.
And this week we're covering deck building, which happens to coincide with me building a new standard deck for this weekend.
Yeah, I saw you copy and paste it off the internet.
I didn't copy and paste. It was mostly the mana base.
So what did you decide that you were going to play?
Right now I'm testing green-red monsters, so like green-red energy. Because you know what happens when you can't beat Long Tusk Cub?
You play Long Tusk Cub. Yeah, seems fair.
Just a quick aside. So TJ, every time TJ would talk about building decks, he'd always do this. Like, I guess this was shuffling, and we teased him so much about it that every time I think of the word deck building, so I'm building this new deck. So if we could adopt that, that would be great.
Okay, so deck building.
Spin Down loves you, TJ. Promise.
At the risk of sounding way too much like one of those talks that you pay to, like the business talks that you pay to, we're going to talk about the 5 W's of deck building.
This really sounds like a how to do it yourself book now.
The 5 W's of deck building. So what are the 5 W's of writing? The who, the what, the when, the where, and the why.
That was special. I'll cherish that forever.
I hope that becomes a clip that we have forever.
Yeah, I'm just gonna save the.
Can we make a GIF? Yeah, it can be like the SpongeBob imagine.
That should be our opener every time. Welcome to the Spin Down Podcast.
Alright. So, back to the 5
This is what happens when we start 20 minutes late.
We have the greatest episode ever.
Start 20 minutes late from now on.
Alright, so, first, who? Who are you trying to beat?
Apparently your own deck.
Because I think the biggest problem that people who don't play competitively have when getting into playing at a tournament or something like that is they build decks to have sweet, fun decks that, like, a lot of the time synergize. Yeah, it's just fun. But they don't, not that they don't care, but they don't think about who they're trying to beat with this deck.
Or they're just not trying to specifically beat anything. Like, I don't know, let's talk about, I'm going to mention my standard deck. Mono blue counter spells, because I could. There's Baral. So I built a deck that wasn't very good, didn't beat a whole bunch of stuff, but I had fun playing it. It didn't target anything. It was just a deck with fun stuff. Like,
exactly. Which goes back to last week we talked about why are we
for
playing. If you're playing just to have fun, have fun. But if you're playing to win an event, decide who you're trying to beat and build to beat that. Which coincides with a little tip down below that says don't get attached to your decks. If you find your deck can't beat who you're trying to beat, why would you play it? I think you saw this with me over the weekend. I was testing Rug Ramp, and it just wasn't winning. And finally, I had to walk away.
Were you playing Bounty of the Luxa?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Bounty of the Luxa does not play well against Long Tusk Cub, turns out. So I just had to walk away from the deck.
I think we have a 2-hour video proof of that.
Of us being 2-8 total in our lifetime YouTube videos.
What?
I can't wait for Andre to actually join us for one.
And then we crush. It's like, oh, we know who keeps the team up.
It's definitely not hot.
What does that say? What does that say that Micah can beat me? Then
Oh, I could crush you.
I mean,
exactly.
So wait, that says you're off the team and Micah's on the team for
Okay.
Baltimore?
Okay. I'll do it.
So once you figure out who you're trying to beat, which, like, look at this case, I'm trying to beat Long Tusk Cub.
I'm still trying to beat Andre.
Have you guys ever actually played Magic against each other? I don't think I've seen.
Once. I played Lantern Control and he was borrowing Scred. It was fantastic. For me.
This is accurate.
So now that you figure out who you're trying to beat, what are you going to do about it? What's your plan to beat the deck or the metagame or something like that? Like in my case, I changed from playing a ramp deck that was too dirtly to beat a curve of creatures to a deck that plays a lot of removal and also curves out the same creatures and just try and make better decisions in deck building and gameplay than my opponents and use that to beat them. And then you get to your win. When do you plan on winning the game? Which is a kind of a weird way of me saying, are you going to be aggro, mid-range, control, or combo? When in the game are you going to win? Are you going to win on turn 3 or 4 with your aggressive creatures? Are you going to stall the game and win on turn 6 or 7 with your big, fat creatures?
Are you going to win on turn 22?
Yeah, when your opponent finally decks out. Or are you going to combo off? Which normally I'd say don't get used to playing combos in Standard, but recently there's been a lot of combos in Standard.
I don't think if you want to grow as a player, you should rely a whole lot on combos.
Yeah.
Like, because, like, combo in the purest sense, like, I
Does
started
nothing
with...
till you win.
Yeah, I mean, I started, like, my first, like, actual deck was Goblin Charbelcher.
Yep.
And you do not grow as a Magic player with Goblin Charbelcher. You learn that you can count to 7, and you learn that Stifle is one heck of a card.
Yeah, so this can even go in with the what do you plan to do about it. Like, if the deck you're trying to beat is some dirtly control deck, maybe you play an aggro deck just to punish them for not doing anything in the early game. Maybe you play a mid-range deck to beat other mid-range decks, things like that.
And there definitely is like a rock, paper, scissors to kind of feel to Magic.
Yeah.
Aggro definitely beats control. Control beats mid-range, and mid-range beats aggro. And now that's not always the case.
It's
but
which one has the best cards because it's Standard.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
well, for Standard, it's you don't really ever want to go off of that, but too often. But definitely, like, if you feel like control decks are going to be the meta, you want to be an aggro deck.
I feel like the only place where this still holds true is Legacy. Because if you go to Modern, everything's aggro, and if you go to Legacy, there's actual, like, set out
Yeah.
control aggro.
And the problem isn't the rock, paper, scissors feel to it, it's just the aggro is so insane. Like, you just can't beat 1 mana 10/10s.
Yeah. But, and so it's, which aggro deck?
And then where is your edge? Are you building your deck in order to push edges to help you win games of Magic? Obviously, if you're newer to Magic and you just want to win a tournament and not necessarily grow as a Magic player, play a deck that just runs itself and wins games of Magic really hard, like
Team or Marvel?
Yeah, like Team or Marvel, like a red deck that goes play red dudes and bolt your face, things like that. But if, as you get better at Magic and as you excel above the people that you're playing against, maybe your edge is in a mid-range or control deck, or even an aggro deck that isn't just all in, and your edge is in making better deck building or gameplay decisions against them, and you need to make sure your deck's built to do that. You need to make sure that your list is optimized when you build it. Don't just play like a bunch of 4-ofs. Sometimes you want to play 3 or 2-ofs of certain cards and 4-ofs of other cards, things like that.
When it says where is your edge, what it makes this is kind of off topic, but when it says that, it makes me think of like, why is your deck better than another deck?
That too, yeah. Just like clarify that your deck is better, and
like like if I don't know, like let's say you're talking within an archetype like Death Shadow in Modern. You can play Grixis Shadow, Bug Shadow, Absent Shadow, 5-color Shadow, 4-color Shadow, literally any color combination Shadow, and then it's a deck.
Yeah.
But why is Grixis Shadow the best option? And so why are you confident that Grixis is the best option instead of Esper? Or why do you think Esper is better than Grixis?
Yeah.
Which deck actually has the edge?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. And then why? Why are the cards that are in your deck in there?
Because they're funny.
Because you can afford them.
Yeah. I think that a lot of people would be better served. Everyone, but some people do it. But a lot of people should go through their deck lists and ask themselves, why is each and every card in their deck? What problems does it solve? What matchups does this card shore up and that card shore up? Especially in sideboards. I think there's too many times that people build sideboards not thinking about situations that the sideboard cards shore up. And we'll cover this more in the building a sideboard segment of this. But it's just you want to make sure there's no random card that you're going to draw in a situation that just does nothing. And you want to make sure that all your cards work together and all your cards do what your deck wants them to do. Because I know I've done that. I can't remember specific situations, but I've definitely played cards that just don't make sense in game plans, and you don't notice that until you see it.
Yeah.
Which gets onto this whole playtest. You need to...
And another thing that you'll see, though, is like something, a base that you already have covered. You'll see someone put extra sideboard cards in when they either don't have space for it or something. Like, I remember playing against, like, the Vizier Company deck back before it was just, like, really a deck.
Yeah.
My opponent, he was playing main deck Scavenging Ooze and had a play set of Kitchen Finks and all this, like, life gain shenanigans. And then he had sideboard cards to beat Burn. And I'm just like, I feel like this is unnecessary.
Yeah, exactly.
If you shore up your weaknesses, not your strengths.
Yeah.
And because otherwise it's just useless.
Yeah.
And you don't play cards that impact your own game plan. Don't be like, man, Anger of the Gods is so good against Dredge. I'll throw this in back when Naya Company was like, throw it in Naya Company to beat Dredge.
Yeah.
Blow up my own board.
Yeah.
I also think when you're thinking about why your cards in your deck, versatility is also very powerful. Like, you can get away with playing cards that necessarily aren't the best if they do, like, some secondary thing. Like, Relic of Progenitus is a great card.
Yeah.
And it got main decked in Scred once, and you can look at the list and you're like, why is it in there? I think it does shore up some of its weaknesses, but at the same time...
Eternal Scourge.
Yeah, but at the same time, when it does nothing...
It draws a card.
It still draws a card.
Yeah. There's a lot of cards like that where if it cycles or just says draw a card, it's so much more playable because worst comes to worst, it's another card off the top of the deck.
I mean, you see it in Standard now. You look at all the cycling cards that
people are
never
playing main deck naturalizes and fogs and stuff like that.
That would have never been playable in
Exactly.
other
Yeah, like Ask Micah, there were matchups today testing green red monsters that I brought in Sweltering Suns when like I normally wouldn't, just because like there were certain situations where it would win me the game, and otherwise I can just go, oh, okay, draw a card.
Yep.
Yeah. Like, he had a play set in the sideboard, but he only brought in 2 because it's not great in the matchups most of the time, but it's always another card.
Yep. And I got my opponent, and he was pissed about it. But yeah, playtest. In 2 weeks, when we have episode 5, we're going to go over playtesting / metagaming, because metagaming and playtesting inform each other. So we'll talk about our methods of dealing with that. Anything else that you guys have to say about deck building?
No.
Don't build bad decks. Build the best version of the deck possible.
Yeah. I also think if you're not ready financially to finish a deck, proxy cards and get better at them, because you don't want to go to like a Star City Games like event or like a GP or something with an unoptimal deck.
Yes.
Like, you should just avoid going to those big tournaments until the deck you were building is finished, and then it doesn't help to practice with a deck that isn't finished. So proxy and then get your playtest. I think it will do you so much better to wait.
Another big thing though is that, like I mentioned, I was playing on Untap.in, like and that and Cockatrice are other viable ways to get playtesting in. Sure, most people are also playing janky decks, but you can still get good magic in, and it actually does help you tune a deck, especially if it's a bad deck, because then you're playing against other bad decks.
Yeah.
And I think another thing, like, I guess we'll talk more about this next week or next episode, but like just because you can't own the best deck, even becoming, if it's not Death Shadow, and like for me it was when I wanted to go to my first GP, I bought Infect, and it's like, I didn't have the best deck because at that time it was probably Affinity or Splinter or like Splinter Twin.
Oh yeah, Twin.
So I didn't want to spend the money on fetches and shocks at that point, and Concept of Tarkir had just come out, so I had green fetches, so it was just easier to build Infect. Yeah. And now Infect's a tier 1 deck, but at the time it was not. And I just bought a deck and became proficient in playing the deck, and that sometimes gives you an edge versus others that just buy a deck because it's the best deck, but may not know all the interactions with the deck.
Familiarity with the deck, I think, is better than how good the deck is.
In everything except standard. I think standard definitely is decided by the best deck.
Yeah.
But
So
in modern, legacy, EDH, vintage, maybe not vintage. Vintage definitely is a power level thing. I think as long as your deck is at least tier 2, practice is a lot better than picking up the best deck.
Well, yeah.
Or you pick up the best deck and practice that.
And if you're going to buy a deck, always check with Matt By and I which deck we just bought, because there's likely a card going to be banned with it.
70% of the time that happens 100% of the time.
But yeah, if that's everything about deck building, we were brought to you by Save Point. Don't forget, Sunday's the PPTQ. July 16th is the Modern for Mox.
$30 entries, registration at 11, gameplay starts at noon.
Yep. You can find us at Spin Down Podcast on Facebook, Spin Down Podcast on Twitter, Spin Down Podcast on YouTube, and Spin Down Podcast on Twitch, even though you're probably watching on Twitch right now. We're at 20 likes on Facebook. I'm thinking 30 likes gets you guys a 6-hour stream with me and Matt By and maybe Andre. So let's get 10 more likes. Yeah, that's everything, unless you guys have anything.
Don't suck at magic.
Heard it here.
There you go.